When I first started my practice, I had this idea in my mind that I was going to simply open the doors and people would understand what it is that I do simply based on the nature of my occupation. I am a therapist. I am a counselor. I'm a supportive counselor, an empowerment coach. I am all of these things. But when I first started, I thought that the terminology of therapist was going to be enough. And I was actually really shocked to find out that whenever I shared with people, because obviously you meet new people, you get into conversations with them, and people would say to me, okay, what is it you do? And I say, I'm an entrepreneur. And they say, oh, that's wonderful. What is your business? And I say, I'm a therapist for women. And they said, what kind of therapist? And I thought, what do you mean, what kind of therapist? I'm a therapist, just that. I thought that that title was enough to really explain what it was that I did. And what I started to notice and what I started to find was it simply wasn't enough. And I think what's a little bit different about me is because I practice in the online space versus, doing more face-to-face counseling or coaching. This has become a really important aspect of my business, is really defining what it is that I do outside of just the word therapist, because that can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So I've had to become, over the last year or so, really clear about what that thing is, what my overall outcome is for my clients. And this has been kind of a frustrating process for me because the ultimate goal or the ultimate outcome is transformation. But what does that mean to the individual? So I'm really, and I'm going through this process now where I'm kind of trying to deep dive and understand, okay, what is the ultimate outcome for the incredible woman I'm working with? And it's taken a lot of personal reflection and talking to some of my previous clients and working with a coach to be able to get to the bottom of it, because to articulate that can be really, really hard. And it was something I wasn't expecting. I mean, there's a lot of things I wasn't expecting when I launched my practice, because as I've shared in the past, I really thought I was going to do this the traditional way. I was going to see people face to face. I was going to get an office space. I was going to work really local. But because obviously we entered into this global pandemic just as I was ready to start this new venture in my life and to take this practice by storm and bring it to the masses, I thought I got to do things a different way. And I've had to be really, really adaptable. And that's come with a lot of learning along the way. There have been a lot of bumps in the road, and I've had to be okay, I need to pivot. I need to, re-examine. I need to look at things differently, because the online space is so different than any other place, really, because there needs to be an abundance of clarity in terms of my messaging and how I speak to people and how I really share what it is I do. So I have been in the process of diving deep into this, and I kind of wanted to share just a little bit about what it is I do and what you can expect when you work with me, because that's the biggest thing. Obviously, if you've been watching my videos for a while, or if you've been checking out some of my stuff, you might be on the precipice of I think I might want to work with her, but I don't really know why, and what is it that I'm going to expect from, what am I going to get from this, and is it just you and I talking and I just get stuff off my chest and that's it, because I don't really know if that's what I'm looking for. And I want to assure you it's so much bigger than that. Obviously, I'm bringing all these spiritual elements into my practice because that was really important to me, especially as I established myself as a practitioner. I knew that there was this incredible element of spirituality that I wanted to infuse into the traditional talk therapy model, because I know that as my clients are coming to me, a lot of them are sort of on this on the edge of a spiritual awakening or a spiritual breakthrough of some type. And when you come to work with me, that might be something that you're sensing. You're starting to question everything. You're wondering if things are really what they seem. You're starting to wonder if everything you believed is now still true and valid. And there kind of is this, I want to say crisis of faith, because it's not necessarily it, but crisis of where do I go next, and who am I tends to be the biggest question, because I've been so many things to so many different people and I don't really know who I am anymore as an individual. So that's one of the things in the work that we do together that you really start to rediscover is who you are outside of mom or partner or colleague or employee, all these other labels that you have for yourself. You sort of lose touch and you become, just so far away from who you are. And you start to ask yourself those questions who am I? What do I stand for? What is it that I want? And that's another really big aspect of the work. We start to ask you the question, what is it that I want? And when you want, let's say, I want to wake up feeling fulfilled. I don't feel fulfilled in my life. Okay, what does that look like? What's standing in the way of you having that ultimate goal? What aspects or elements from either the past or the present is standing in the way of you having that? right? Because I am a true believer in the potentiality of you as a human being and really uncovering what your gifts and your strengths are so that you can then step into and tap into all of that incredible potential. But it starts with knowing what it is you want. So that is one absolute aspect. And the other aspect of this one, I really, really chipped down and got to like the root of what it is I do. I support you in taking your power back, because I guarantee you for probably the majority of your life, you've been giving your power away little by little. And this could look like having no boundaries, saying yes to things when you really mean no, people pleasing, just not being there for yourself in the same way that you are with other people, perfectionistic tendencies. With each of these things, it's like you're giving a little piece of yourself away, and getting further and further and further away from who you truly are. And some of those elements, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background that are actually driving those things and why you're seeing some of those things in the present. But what I do is support you in taking your power back, reconnecting to your intuition, restoring your faith and hope and optimism and potentiality. That is what I do. And at the end of it, you're so empowered. You're so much closer to who you are authentically. There is no going back. Of course, there's going to be stumbles in the road. You're going to go, feel like you're going backwards sometimes. But ultimately, there's a sense of strength in that empowerment and a sense of resilience like no other. I support you in taking your power back and coming home to yourself finally for the first time in a really long time. So hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions about my methodology, my process, what it is I do, how I can support you specifically, because it's going to be different for everybody. You are a unique individual, and I don't expect one specific method to work for you. I really work with you collaboratively so that you can get to this place where this is like custom tailored to you, your specific needs, and off we go to the races. But you will be blown away at the results. You'll be blown away at the transformation, and you'll be so much closer to who you truly are. So that is a little bit about my jam. But yes, if you have any questions, I'm an open door. I am open to answering anything that you might need to ask me. But with that, I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're abundant. And of course, make it a great day. Make it a great day. Make it a great day. Sure what this is, but I'm in flow. That's what we do together. When we work together, we become in flow. Okay, let's get to it.